Well, hello again to all the boys and girls out there in YouTube land watching. John and Ellie back at you with another beer review. And today I'm looking at Kentucky Bourbon Barrel Ale. Now, this is brewed in Kentucky by Alltech Brewing Company. Um, Not exactly sure. I think it was released in 2000, but I'm not exactly sure. I've had this beer many times, and if you ever see this beer on draft anywhere, people, buy it immediately and drink it. You will love it. All right, so we have the bottled version today. I've had many of the Alltech Kentucky line of beers. They make a lot of great barrel aged products. They're kind of like Innocent Gun in a certain respect. They do a lot of similar products. However, the Kentucky bourbon barrel aged and whatever they're aging their beer in, the ABV tends to be a lot higher. This one here is 8% ABV. All right, let's give it a pour. I should have looked up to see if this beer won any awards. I have a feeling it might have. It is pretty dang tasty. But anyway, I guess maybe I'll post in the comments or in the description below if the beer's won any awards. I should have looked that up before. My apologies to all of you watching. I have a Kentucky bourbon barrel ale glass that I poured this in, so pretty interesting, or pretty appropriate that I would pour it in this glass. So a nice amber color. No particulate matter floating around in this one. Very filtered, very clear. There's some nice streaming bubbles going up the side of the glass, so the beer looks nicely carbonated. It didn't really pour with that big of a head, but this is not a beer with the higher alcohol, and just with the type of glassware that I poured this in, just didn't produce a very big head. But it might if you pour it in a Pilsner style glass, maybe. So anyway, on the aroma, I'm getting some caramel sweetness, some vanilla, maybe coming from that barrel presence from the barrel aging. Now, this is not aged on barrel staves. This is actually aged in bourbon barrels. And you're just getting so much of that bourbon sweetness, that vanilla, the toffee, the caramel. You're getting all of that on the aroma. It smells really, really good. Very malty, very sweet, very delicious. It smells like a dessert beer almost on the aroma. It smells really, really good. So let's get into this, guys. Cheers. We're doing an examination on Eric Fraunfelter. His channel name is Massachusetts Beer Review. Reviews. His identifier is Thomas Metal 75. So check out Massachusetts Beer Reviews if you haven't already. He makes great videos, and every Wednesday we do interesting hangouts. Tonight is the Meet a Beer Reviewer. It should be for a very interesting night. So check out his channel. We always have a good time hanging out with other beer reviewers in the YouTube community. I do anyway. I think it's a lot of fun. So, all right, on the palate here with this beer. The Kentucky Bourbon Barrel Ale. It's really delightful. All of those aromas that I just mentioned are following through really nicely on the taste. You're getting the caramel sweetness. You're getting some toffee. You're getting some light vanilla notes. You're getting everything that a good bourbon would impart with this beer on the flavor. It's obviously not a bourbon, and it's a lot lower in alcohol than a bourbon, but the taste reminds me a lot of bourbon in a very good way. You still get some maltiness, some breadiness in the middle of the sip, which is really nice, and it reminds you that it's a beer. At 8% alcohol, this is relatively high. I mean, I'm not picking up any alcohol whatsoever on the taste or in the finish. It doesn't burn going down the throat. I am drinking this cold. As it warms, it might slightly um, increase with the alcohol characteristics. But I've had this beer many times, and I have let this beer warm up, and it really doesn't make that big of a difference. You do get a slight burn in the back of the throat as the beer warms, but as far as the alcohol presence in the taste department, it does not change. It is not alcoholic at all in taste, and that does not change as the beer warms. It finishes very crisp and refreshing for an 8% beer. It is relatively light and sessionable, you could even say, if you're a big beer drinker and you can slam back some 8% beers like, you know, like it ain't no thing, then this is your beer because it is sessionable for the high alcohol content. It is smooth as silk. Um, you know, if this was a 4 or 5% beer, you could drink these all day, no problem. It is delightful. I highly recommend drinking any of the Alltech Kentucky Bourbon Barrel products. They have one that's like an old fashioned. It's got like cherries and vanilla added, or maybe orange peel and cherries. That's what it is, orange peel and cherries. And it's bourbon barrel aged as well. They've got a honey bourbon barrel porter, I believe. I mean, they've got so many beers. Check them out. If you can get any of their products, I highly recommend that you do so. They are a little on the pricey side. You're looking at between $12 and $14 for a 4-pack, but the alcohol for all of these beers is 8% and up. So you're looking at a high gravity craft, really good beer. So let me get one more sip and I'll give you guys a rating. So smooth, so delightful. Great qualities that you get with a good whiskey, but it's not alcoholic in nature in the taste or in the finish. You get some good beer qualities in there as well. It's definitely malt forward. I'm not picking up on any hops whatsoever. If you like hoppy beers and you don't really like the malt forward presentation that some beers have, you might not necessarily want to go for this. This is definitely a malt forward sweet beer, but it is very well made. It is excellent, and I'm going to give it a 96 out of 100. I think it is getting up there towards world class. It's definitely better than just a solid A. It is getting up there, folks. I highly recommend it. You cannot go wrong with this beer. And if you see any of the Alltech Kentucky barrel aged products, I highly recommend that you try them. And if you ever see any of them on draft, buy them. I mean, you know, you can't go wrong. This is a 96 out of 100 in the bottle. On draft, it's a 99 out of 100. It's that good. So that'll do it for this beer review, guys. Hope you're having a great day. And until next time, everybody, cheers. Oh, yeah, that is smooth.